Okay, so apparently this is a thing. Hi, it's the OGGM. It's 12:30. It's the 15th day of October, 2021, and I am your guide to all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, sports, controversy, and things that matter or do not matter. And apparently the word of the day is THAC0 the Clown. So in Wild on the Witchlight, there is an NPC encounter with a clown named THAC0, THACO. If you're not familiar, THACO is actually 2-hit armor class 0, which is a way that combat was resolved back in D&D before Wizards of the Coast took over and changed it. Some people are saying this is a nod to the older players and sort of a gesture of, hey, look, we acknowledge you. Other people are saying this is an attack against the older players. One person is even saying it's a, it really, really matters and it's a slap in the face and this is a call out to the older players, how you don't matter. Now, here's my take on it. And some other people are saying we should embrace THAC0 the Clown and make it the new mascot for the OSR and the Groganards. So we have people who think it's a nod, sort of a handshake, sort of a compliment to the older players. We have people who think it's an insult to the older players. We have people who think it's a slap in the face to the older players. And we even have a group of people who start saying the older players should embrace THAC0 the Clown as a new mascot, as a rallying cry. Here's what I think. It's a silly joke that Wizards of the Coast tried to make. It's a 5-second bit at most. And really, I don't think anybody would have cared if we hadn't made something out of it. It really is a 5-second. I would have, if I saw it, I got it, I moved on. Now, here's my reason why I think it wouldn't have been a thing if we had not made it a thing. Back in the days, in the old days before COVID, I was running a 5th edition game. Yes, I ran a 5th edition game. I ran a 5th edition game for a long time. I'd do it again, even though I supposedly hate 5th edition. But remember, I am a dirty Wizards of the Coast apologist. So yes, I ran a 5th edition game. I ran a very long 5th edition game with several players, all of whom had a good time, despite the fact that I am, a toxic gatekeeper. And in this 5th edition game, there was an NPC named THAC0. I thought I was being clever. THAC0 the NPC ran around and interacted with the party for almost 4 months. So that's every Thursday for 4 months. THAC0 the NPC was something in the life of the party. No one got it. No one got that I was making a dig at 2-hit armor class 0, that the NPC's name was 2-hit armor class 0. And there were 2 individuals in that game who'd been playing D&D almost as long, if not longer, than I had. So they should have recognized 2-hit armor class 0 as a thing. And this was a joke on this character and on the idea of 2-hit armor class 0. And why this NPC was so danger prone. No one got it. No one got it. Of course, in the defense of the group of players, this is also the group of players who never got that the one-eyed NPC was Vecna, because Vecna was spelling his name differently. He switched the K and the V. And for almost a year, nobody got that Kefkna was actually Vecna, and Vecna had just switched 2 letters. So, okay, maybe they weren't as clever as I thought they were, or maybe I was just too clever, or maybe it's just something people didn't care about and were just having a good time. So, I know people who have seen THAC0 the Clown and Witchlight, and until it was made a thing, I didn't care. I am a Groganard. I have played since 2-hit armor class 0 was a mathematic. I don't care. I'm not insulted. It's not a slap in the face. It's not a rallying cry for the 5th edition to rise up. It's not a rallying cry for you to come and save the people who aren't playing 5th edition. And it's not an insult. It's not a handshake. It's nothing. It's a simple one-bit joke that somebody at Wizards of the Coast thought was being clever and funny. And if we just forgot it and not made a thing about it, it probably wouldn't have been a thing. There's so many other things we could focus our energy on involved in this current 5e versus non-5e players. So there are individuals who are actively trying to once again attack the 5e players, and individuals who are once again actively trying to attack the non-5e players and saying things how like they're calling us out and they're going to come to save us and they're going to kidnap us and they're going to force us to convert to 5e, and how if we don't play 5e, we are actively destroying society as we know it. I think that's more important than a 2-second bit. This is literally a joke that somebody told that failed and should have just been passed on. There are so many clever ideas in Witchlight that Wizards of the Coast should have ran with, but they didn't. And I will be the first to say that if anything spells the doom of 5th edition is D&D, it's Witchlight. Because, as I've said, everything post-Witchlight makes no sense and pretty much is going in a direction that D&D, at least Wizards of the Coast D&D, isn't really D&D anymore. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I don't care. Wizards of the Coast can call it whatever they want. They can call it Dungeons & Dragons. If they want to have this clown character and call it THAC0, I don't care. I'm not going to give them money. I'm not going to buy their product. I'm not going to actively seek out to play or run 5th edition unless, of course, running 5th edition makes my friendly local game store money. That's Sis Games Anatomy here in Ventura. But I'm not insulted. I don't care. It doesn't matter. And whatever they're doing with 5th edition post-Witchlight, even if I feel it isn't D&D, it doesn't matter what I think, because I'm not the people paying money. And the people paying money to Wizards of the Coast don't care about THAC0. I assure you, if I got a bunch of 12-year-olds who are playing 5th edition and I dropped THAC0 the Clown on them, none of them would get it. None of them would get it until somebody actually came and said, oh, this is a thing about older players and blah. No, I assure you, most 5th edition players would not get the joke because it's a reference to something they don't know about. Nor should they, because they play 5th. If they want to learn about the hobby, they can. If we want to try and get them to play other games besides 5th, great. If they're interested in other games besides 5th, great. If they want to know what THAC0 means, I thoroughly encourage them to try and find out. But since there is no mention in 5th edition whatsoever of this, it is a throwaway gag that most people won't get. And most Groganauts, at least the older players I know from my experience of having an NPC called THAC0, either won't care or won't get it. Now, maybe the 2 older players who were in my game got that it was a dig at THAC0, TH2 Armor Class 0, the NPC THAC0, and they just didn't care. Because it wasn't really intrinsic to the plot of the game, and they were just enjoying playing the game. So maybe we all silently nodded, yeah, we get what you're doing here, Mike. We get 2-hit armor, but you know what? In the greater scheme of things, we don't care. And maybe they got that Kevna was Vecna, and they just didn't care. Because really, generally, most people don't care about a thing until you make it a thing. Because it's just a game. It's just a game where people just want to sit down and have a good time playing. And if you want to throw in a joke about THAC0 the gatekeeping clown, great. I don't see it as an insult. I don't see it as a handshake. I don't see it as a call to arms. It's just a 5-second joke. But then I'm a dirty Wizards of the Coast apologist who hates 5th edition. So, take what you mean. It's a thing, and I got to report on the things, and I got to give you my 2 cents on the thing. You don't have to agree with it. If the idea of THAC0 the Clown upsets you, that's fine. That's you. I don't know what Wizards of the Coast intended for this to mean, and they're not going to tell us what they intended it to mean, because if they don't tell us, then they can get more people talking about it. And if more people are talking about THAC0 the Clown, more people are going to go over and look at Witchlight and possibly buy it. So all we're doing by talking about THAC0 the Clown is bringing more attention to THAC0 the Clown, bringing more attention to Witchlight, bringing more attention to Wizards of the Coast, which means more money for Hasbro. So really, at the end of the day, if you are so upset and think THAC0 the Clown is an insult towards a certain specific style of play, the best thing to do, don't bring attention to it. Because if nobody knows about it, nobody will look it up. And if nobody looks it up, no one will buy that book. And if no one buys that book, Hasbro won't make any money. And if Hasbro doesn't make any money, they might go, maybe we need to change something. Maybe that wasn't a good idea after all. Think about it. If you're not upset by THAC0 the Clown, like I'm not, let me know. If you think I should shut up and never talk about this topic ever again, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 1,000 subs and we'll do something crazy. The sooner the better. And if you're feeling generous, remember there's multiple ways you can support the OGGM adventures and come save me. Including I have a Ko-Fi, I have a PayPal, I have a Locals blog, and of course I have my very own merch. So, there you go. That's my 2 cents on the THAC0 thing, and that I don't think it should be a thing. Talk to you later.